Okay guys, welcome back. We'll continue. Chalo, where were we? Marginal relief, everything, whatever is left, we will cover it guys. No worries. New scheme we are supposed to do. Yeah, come to this part guys, which is in italics. Ready? Next. Finance Act 2020. First, special tax regime for individual and HUF. Okay. This is applicable only for two people guys. That is individuals and HUF. Please be careful. Okay. Section BAC. Okay. BAC. Try to remember the section number also important. This new scheme. Old scheme we have already seen guys. Slab rate 5%, 20%, 30%. Here the rates will be different. So please be attentive. Finance Act 2020 has provided an option to individuals and HUF for payment of taxes at the following reduced rate for assessment year 2021, 22 and onwards. That is, this is actually applicable from our previous year. Before that, it was not there. Okay, and it is an option, guys. Sir, should I mandatorily follow this? No. As per your wish, you can follow either old scheme or new scheme. Sir, which scheme will you suggest? If you ask me, you calculate your income under both scheme. You see what is your tax liability under both scheme. Whichever is lower, you choose that. That is how we have to plan our tax. I will repeat. You see both scheme, new scheme, old scheme. Attentive. See here. Okay. So you calculate your total income under both scheme, new scheme, old scheme. The figures will be different under both schemes. Okay. Calculate tax on that, where tax rates are different. What is your final tax liability under both new scheme as well as old scheme? You see. Wherever it is lower, select that scheme. Wherever it is lower, select that scheme. Okay. And here, when Nirmala Sitharaman ji announced this scheme, that is new scheme, individuals and HUF, we are offering you new scheme. The tax rates is so and so, she told. And at the end, she told, after reading all this in the parliament, she told, you have to forego some exemptions and deductions. I thought, okay, I was listening to that. I thought, okay, some exemptions and deductions I can forego because tax rates are reduced now. So you can just observe this here. So instead of 20-30% and all, they have put it some in between. There are some different rates. Okay, I was okay because anyway I have income which is falling under this limit. So I was happy to pay tax under this scheme, new scheme. She told at the end, just you need to forego some exemptions and deductions. Later, I went through that Finance Act or Finance Bill in a document, that is PDF format. There, if you just see the list of the exemptions and deductions which you have to forego under new scheme, you will feel old scheme only was better, madam. Old scheme was only better. That means under new scheme, if you want to pay tax as per new rates, that is the rates are lower, but you have to forego many exemptions and deductions. Okay. What is that? I will just give one or two example. See, forget about new scheme. Old scheme means if you are having a salary income, then from your salary income there was a standard deduction which was given 50,000. From every salaried employee, you can claim a deduction of 50,000. So that means if you are having a salary income, assume 5 lakh, for 50,000 straight away deduction, 4,50,000 is your salary taxable income. For that you need to add other income and take it. But under new scheme, this 50,000 deduction is not available. Okay, then fine. Come to another example. I am giving only one or two example, not everything. Assume you are making some investments. Some investments in public provident fund, or you are taking some life insurance policy and all. If you are taking life insurance policy, whatever premium you will pay, you can claim deduction. Under what? Section 80C. Okay, I have not covered all this guys. I am just giving some examples for your understanding. Now, whatever life insurance premium, or if I am depositing something in public provident fund, we call it as PPF, I was eligible to claim deduction under section 80C. Maximum I can claim 1,50,000. Fine sir, old scheme. Obviously people will have life insurance policy, they will have public provident fund, they will have recognized provident fund and few things like that. And if you have taken any education loan, interest on that also can be claimed deduction under section 80E and all, it was there. Fine, I was happy. New scheme, they are telling you have to forego this also. You have to forego. You cannot claim any deductions under chapter 6A except one or two. So almost whatever deductions and exemptions I was dependent on, almost everything she has taken off. And she is telling, okay, you can pay tax at lower rates. So what, according to me, sir, which is better? It depends on what incomes, exemptions, deductions you have. I cannot straight away tell which is better. But generally, if I generalize and tell without seeing your income, without seeing deductions or exemption, I somewhere feel old might be better. Okay, but again, I have told you, we have to see case by case. What is your income? What are your deductions, exemptions? What are your investments? Everything. Depending upon that, we can decide which scheme is better. Hope you guys have got some idea about this scheme. Sir, so many percentages to remember. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when this new scheme was introduced. For practical purpose, okay, how will students manage this? Okay, how will the students manage that? We don't have an option. Teacher doesn't have an option to teach. You don't have an option to study. You have to. And it is covered in your syllabus. We don't have option. When it is there in the act, obviously they will cover it in your syllabus. That's the problem. We have just seen the trailer, madam. Still there are many things to remember for you. Okay. Don't think, why did I take this CS Santa? So never look back. Once you have stepped into this field, make sure that you will go out as a successful person. Nothing. See, when everything in the initial stage looks difficult, I know that. Even when I was there in foundation and all, I felt, okay, how will I do CA? So much stuff, so much big books, everything. Once you start studying, once you start putting your efforts, you will enjoy it. Okay, provided you will love that thing, whatever you are doing. You should be passionate about what you are doing. Agree? No doubt. See, initially, first day, second day, when you are studying for the first time, you may feel difficult how to remember, and you will start getting confused. 5%, 10%, 25%, everything will happen. It should happen for you. Only then I can tell you that, okay, you are human beings. If not, you are not a machine. Agree? So everything happens. That is why I told you in the initial classes only, our first class, you have to do regular revisions, guys. Only when you do regular revisions, okay, things will remain in your head. Things will remain in your head. If you just attend the class and aram se relax in your place, you cannot remember everything. Okay, you will tend to forget. Now you have understood everything. If you are not studying, assume when I go to 5th chapter, 6th chapter, you will try to okay, what did he tell in 2nd chapter? What did he do in 3rd chapter? What is this? What is that? Everything will happen. I know all the cases. I know what you people will undergo in this process. That is why in the first class itself, I have told you guys. Okay, so don't get into any problems later. So start studying from day one only. Okay, if you are not yet started by chance, please start at least from day today. Okay, this is my humble request. I know, see, who will fail in CS exams is those who are not studying regularly. Agree? If you are studying only for last 1 month, 2 months, it cannot help you to pass the exams, guys. Too many things are there. Income tax is not the only subject for your exams. Agree? Income tax is only for 50 marks, that's all. What about the other subjects? Everything you need to consider, everything you need to study. Yeah. Chalo. So what is this rates we will see? Please be careful now. Any individual, resident or non-resident, okay, for both, every HUF, whether they are resident or non-resident, we are not bothered. Agree? And there is no discrimination between the age here. 60, less than 60, more than 60, 80, nothing is there. For every individual, resident, non-resident, senior citizen, normal citizen, super senior citizen, for everyone, this is the case. This is the rates. Please be careful. There is no discrimination here. Okay, so total income is up to 2,50,000. Rate is nil. That is basic exemption limit. Concentrate, pay attention. Next, from 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, 5%. Same thing. Okay, these two things are same. Okay, no confusion. From now it starts. New scheme. 5 lakh to 7 lakh 50, 10%. From 7 lakh to 10 lakh, 15%. From 10 lakh to 12 lakh 50, 20%. 12 lakh 50 to 15 lakh, 25%. Above 15 lakh, 30%. It's easy to remember how I will tell. I will tell one shortcut. See, you know first two limits in your old rate, old scheme. Agree? This is same. Agree? The new scheme actually starts from 5 lakh. So from 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it was 20% in our old scheme I am talking about. But under new scheme, what they are trying to tell is, for every 2,50,000 difference, they are trying to give different rate. That is 5% increase in the rate. Remember, remember this shortcut, it will be very easy for you to remember. So after 5 lakh, for every 2,50,000 increase, there is a 5% increase in your tax rate. I repeat, for full you can see like that. For every 2,50,000 increase in your income, tax rate will increase by 5%. Tax rate will increase by 5%. You can remember like this. Okay, if you remember like this, it will be easy, guys, to recall. Yeah, sir, what is the surcharge? Surcharge is same as your old scheme. Surcharge we discussed in our old scheme, now it is same as our old scheme. Okay, you can just write same as old scheme. No change, nothing, same to same, copy paste. Copy paste. So surcharge, you need not break your head. Agree, guys? Chalo. Then notes, please pay attention, some conditions, restrictions, everything is there. Marginal relief is available from surcharge. What is marginal relief? We will understand later. So if surcharge is applicable for you, there is something called as marginal relief which will come into picture. What is that concept? We will understand later. Okay. Then health and education cess is levied at 4% of the amount of income tax plus surcharge. Same like our old scheme. So health and education cess is also same thing. Surcharge is also same thing. And marginal relief concept we have to discuss, that is applicable for both old scheme as well as new scheme. And marginal relief concept will come only when surcharge is applicable, guys. Okay, if surcharge is applicable, no question of marginal relief. Agree? Okay. Third point. So this, I told you there is a concept of alternate minimum tax which we will see in chapter 13-14. Okay. So that concept is not applicable for the individual or HUF who opt for new scheme. That is what they have given in third point. Okay. So alternate minimum tax concept we have not yet understood. But what I am trying to tell here is alternate minimum tax concept is not applicable for an individual or HUF who opt for a new scheme. Very simple. Clear? Next, conditions to be satisfied. This is you can just see the list here. Okay, how many conditions are there? Before doing this, let me go to old scheme only, you will tell. Okay, but still for syllabus sake we have to cover it. Previously it was easy for me also to teach and for students also to learn. Now only they have made our life mess. Conditions to be satisfied. The option, this is an option, to pay tax at lower rate shall be available only if the total income of the individual or HUF is computed without claiming the following exemptions or deductions. So I have given the list of exemptions and deductions which I have to forego, under new scheme. If I opt for new scheme, I have to forego it. We will not be seeing this, what is this allowance, exemptions and deductions, because this we will be covering in different chapters. Please listen carefully here. All these deductions and exemptions we will be covering in different chapters. Whenever I go to that chapter, once I finish that chapter, at the end of that chapter, I have given the list of the exemptions or deductions which are not applicable for new scheme, so that it becomes easy. Here I have given everything in one shot. Here please pay attention, guys, because tomorrow you will get some confusions. Okay, whatever I am telling now, please listen carefully. Here in first point, I have given the list of exemptions and deductions fully. Everything I have given in one shot, which is not available for an assessee who will opt for new scheme. Clear? Whether it is an individual or HUF. But now, as of now, we don't know what is this exemption deductions. So I will not be explaining anything with respect to this. So all these deductions and exemptions, we will cover it in different chapters, guys. Like salary, house, property, profits and gains of business, then deduction chapter, everything. When I go to that particular chapter, first we will complete that chapter. At the end of that chapter, I will tell whatever exemptions and deductions covered in that chapter which is not applicable for the new scheme, so that it will be easy for you. Agree? Once we study chapter wise, you guys can come back and check all this list. Everything will be covered. Clear? Chalo. So first point, okay, I know that I need to forego all this list of exemptions and deductions. Fine, sir. Then second point is with respect to some depreciation. What this second and third point, I will just explain this because that will come under the head profits and gains. Let me continue. Yeah. Now I saw one or two doubts. Others, if I am not answering, please ask it again. So sir, which scheme is beneficial? Someone asked. That's what I told you guys. We have to check case to case basis. Okay, what is your total income? What are the exemptions, deductions available for you? Then what is your tax liability? We have to calculate, and then finally whichever is lower, you will select that. We will do problems on that. You will get a clarity there. Yeah. So with respect to this second and third point, it's actually covered in the third head of income, that is profits and gains of business or profession. Okay, I will just tell some points with respect to this. See, if you have any additional depreciation, or if your company has suffered any loss, because you have claimed so and so deductions, whatever deductions we saw in first point. I repeat, if company has suffered any loss, I am talking about company, because profits and gains of business or profession can have only company can have business profit or else professions. Okay, now assume any business loss is there or professional loss is there, because you have claimed some deductions which is given under old scheme. Under old scheme, you have suffered loss due to after claiming the deductions whatever is given here. Okay, that loss cannot be carried forward if you are opting for a new scheme. Okay, so what is that scheme is? See, normally if you have any loss, you can either set it off in this year or else you can carry forward that to the next year normally. But if you are claimed any loss due to the deductions which I have given from point A to V under old scheme, and now you are willing to go for a new scheme, in that case you cannot carry forward that loss for the future years. And there is something called as additional normal depreciation is there. Over and above that, some specific people can claim additional depreciation while calculating their business income. Agree? Normally they can claim depreciation for their assets, but for some specific case you can claim additional depreciation also. But if you are opting for a new scheme, normal depreciation you can claim, but additional depreciation you cannot claim. But while calculating the WDV of the assets, that is written down value of the assets, you assume that you are claiming additional depreciation and calculate the written down value. Agree? I will repeat. See, normally assessees under the old scheme, they were eligible to claim two types of depreciation. One is normal depreciation, and only some few assessees were eligible to claim some additional depreciation. That additional depreciation cannot be claimed by the assessee, who has opted for a new scheme. Okay, that part is not there for him. Now, but if you have opted for a new scheme, if you are calculating the written down value of your assets, assume that okay, for you additional depreciation is allowed and calculate the written down value. That is what is given in point second and third. Again we will see this point 2 and 3 when we go to profits and gains, that is third head of income. Okay, I will explain that there. But here why I have given that here is, once I complete the syllabus, everything you will be knowing. So everything with respect to new scheme is in one place. That will be beneficial for you. Agree? So this thing, when we are studying, we will study bit by bit. All the deduction, exemption which is not available for a new scheme, we will study bit by bit in each chapter. At the end, once I complete everything, if you are seeing this new scheme, you will understand in detail about this new scheme. What is available, what is not available. Everything you will understand in one shot. Agree? That is why I am giving everything. Yeah. See guys, for this second and third point, don't break your head much, because as of now we don't know what is normal depreciation, additional depreciation and all. So I will explain that in detail when we go to that particular part. Okay. So just now I have given some information about that. Yeah, fourth and fifth point we will see. Please be careful now. Okay. So please look into the material. Fourth point I am reading. Everyone. Fourth point. In case the assessee has business or professional income. Okay. So if any individual or HUF, if he is having business or professional income, this option shall be exercised on or before the due date specified under section 139 for furnishing the return of income. Under section 139(1), the due date to file your return is been given. Okay, there are different due dates which we will see when we go to the chapter. So there is a due date given under section 139(1) to file your income tax return. So if you are an individual or HUF who is having business income or professional income, then you have to opt whether I am going for with new scheme or old scheme. on or before you file your returns of income. On or before you file your return of income, you have to decide whether will I choose new scheme or old scheme. Okay. Okay. So fourth point is done. That is when I have business income or professional income. Next, fourth point, continuation is fifth point. What is that we will see. Fifth point is a continuation. Once the assessee has exercised the option for any previous year, it cannot be subsequently withdrawn. Okay. That means if you have business income or professional income, assume you have opted for new scheme. Again, next year you cannot tell, sir, I will go back to old scheme. You cannot change. Okay. For the same or any other previous year, the option once exercised for any previous year can be withdrawn only once in subsequent previous year other than the year in which it was exercised. Means only one time benefit is being given for those who are having business income or professional income. Okay. And thereafter, he shall never be eligible to exercise this option again except where such person ceases to have any business income. What is this fifth point? I will tell. Please listen everyone clearly. Sir, I am having business income or I am having professional income. Now from this year, I have opted for new scheme before I file my return. Okay. Next, can I come out of this option again? Assume next year, sir, I want to go back to old scheme, sir. Okay, you can go back. But once you go back to old scheme again, you can never come to new scheme again. You cannot change your mind again. Only one time you can change. That's all, maximum. Agree? Hope you understood. But one exception is there for this. That is, sir, assume after 5 years I closed my business. Can I come back to my old scheme? Yes. If you fail to have business income, you can switch to any scheme. Okay. So in simple, if I tell, if you are an individual or HUF who doesn't have business income or professional income, you can switch between new scheme and old scheme every year. But for 1 year, you should follow only one scheme. So assume I am an individual who doesn't have business income. So this year I am following new scheme. Next year old scheme. Again next year new scheme. Next to next year old scheme. I can keep on changing, provided I don't have business income. If I have business income, only once in lifetime I can change. Hope you guys are clear. Bala Sridhar is as a doubt. It simply means that you cannot keep on changing from old scheme to new scheme as and when I want, right, sir? Yes, madam, correct. And only when you have business income or professional income. When you don't have that income, you can every year you can keep on changing it. Okay, chalo. Next, sixth point. If assessee doesn't have business or professional income, okay, if I don't have business or professional income, the option must be exercised along with your return of income, not on or before the due date of filing the return. It is when you are filing your return, you should say, okay, sir, I am going for new scheme or old scheme, and file your return. Agree? Next, for every previous year. If an assessee after opting for section 115 BAC claims any of the prescribed deduction or allowance in any previous year, then the option to pay tax at concessional rate shall become invalid for that year. So assume I have opted for a new scheme. So I am paying tax at lower rates. So when I am paying tax under new scheme, you cannot claim some exemption deductions. But assume you started claiming, immediately you will be pushed for old scheme. Okay, immediately you will be pushed for old scheme. Agree? So if you are going for a new scheme, you cannot claim the exemptions and deductions which are not applicable for you. If you want to claim, go for old scheme. Agree? You cannot tell, no sir, I don't want to go. No sir, I don't want to go. They will push you. Okay, they will push you not literally, in the sense, in terms of tax I am telling. Clear guys? Hope you guys are clear. Chalo. So at the end I have given one table which will summarize full new scheme and old scheme. Please pay attention. This is like a summary table. So please pay attention here guys. Paying attention, listening, hope so. Chalo. So first column will tell, okay, what it covers. Second column, under existing scheme, what is the case. Under third column, under new scheme, what is this case. Agree? And try to remember the section number for new scheme guys, which is given here, BAC. Okay, first three alphabets, just they have misplaced it, that's all. C is in the right place, but A and B they have interchanged. Remember like that. Okay, Remember like that. Bala Sridhar, the table is easier to remember than the previous pages, sir. Yes, sir. See, I know that. See, that is why I didn't share the revision notes with you. Whatever shortcuts looks easy for you, but first we have to study the in detail what is given in that section or act. Then only we can follow some shortcut for it. Agree, guys? So this table, I know you will feel easy. You people will directly go for this table, but try to understand what is given in the section first. Okay? Chalo. So what is given? What is the thing we will see one by one? Please pay attention. Basic exemption limit. What is the basic exemption limit under the existing scheme? It depends on your age. Depending upon your age, it will be either 2,50,000 or 3 lakh or 5 lakh. But under the new scheme, irrespective of your age, it will always be 2 lakh. Sorry, 2,50,000. It will always be 2,50,000. So there is no extension or anything. Fine. Then special rates of taxes are applicable for both old scheme as well as new scheme. Okay, Jen. That 10%, 15%, whatever section I have mentioned here, BB, 115 BB, 112, this is same, rates are same for both new scheme and old scheme, guys. So please be careful with this. Then rebate is available under both scheme, fine. Chapter 6A deduction, it is a completely different chapter actually, which we will see after aids of income. So you can claim chapter 6A deduction under old scheme, but under new scheme, you cannot claim deductions. Only two deductions can be claimed. That is 80CCD2 and 80JJAA. Other than this also there are almost 20-25 sections there. Okay, but under new scheme you can claim deduction only for 2 sections. Clear? Okay, so then surcharge is same for both places under both scheme. Health and education scheme says same. Deductions and exemptions available. Many deductions and exemptions are not available under new scheme. Set off of carry forward loss and depreciation from past previous year. Under old scheme it is available, whereas new scheme you can observe the word not allowed if related to deductions and exemptions not allowed under section 115 BAC. If that loss is related to the deduction which you are claimed earlier, but it is not allowable under the new scheme, then you cannot carry forward that loss. That means that loss will become lapse. Normally business loss you can carry forward for 8 years, next 8 years. Okay. Then you cannot claim additional depreciation under new scheme. Next, set off of current year loss available under old scheme, whereas under new scheme allowed except losses under house property. See, normally if you have loss from house property, sir, how can I have? Assume you have taken a loan for construction of your house property and you are paying interest on it. In that case, you can have a loss under house property, under the head house property. In that case, under the new scheme, you can adjust that loss from house property against any head, like salary head, business head, anything like that. If you have loss from house property and assume you have salary income, you can adjust your loss of house property against your salary income. But under new scheme, that offer is not there for you. That option is not there for you. Clear? Then intimation. If you are following old scheme, no intimation. Don't give any intimation. Just follow whatever you are doing from past years. If you are following new scheme, assessee can opt for new tax system only if intimation given in the prescribed manner. We have discussed what is that prescribed manner. If you have business or professional income on or before the due date of filing your return of income, you have to mention it. Agree? If you don't have business or professional income, then you have to inform while you are filing your return of income. Clear? Then provisions of AMT. AMT means alternate minimum tax. If you are following old scheme, it is applicable. If you are following new scheme, it is not applicable. Easy, guys. And most of the points whatever we have read it here, we have not covered, like deductions, exemptions and all, we have not yet covered, but have an idea. For new scheme what is applicable, for old scheme what is not applicable. Okay, sorry, for new scheme what is not applicable, for old scheme what is available. Agree? So later one by one we will discuss it. Sir, if you study this, it's enough. Yeah, it's like that. But if you want to understand, then you have to go through. For example, this 4th point, 5th point and all is not there in the table. This 4th point, 5th point and all is not there in the table. So you have to study it here. and whatever deductions or exemptions not available for you, you have to study it here only. Na list is not given in the table, right? Okay, so you have to study both, but the table makes your life easier, work easier. Okay, so that is why this is the problem with the students. When we give some shortcuts, you will depend only on that. When we give some small things which is easily understandable, don't depend only on that. Yes, obviously you have to study full thing. At the end, okay, you refer this, it will be easy. Even on the exam day, if you just go through this and go, and it's enough, more than enough. Agree? Because you know the concept, you know what is available, what is not available. On the exam day, just brush up this. Agree? So in simple, if I tell, you have to study both. You have to study both in simple, if I tell. Clear, guys? So that is why actually I didn't share revision notes. I don't have any problem in sharing revision notes, because anyway I can share it. If it is useful for you, I can share it. But what students will do now? Sir, anyway this is easy, but let me depend only on this. Let me study only this. Only 1 page, 2 page it is there na. Let me study only this anta. That is not possible. You cannot depend only on revision notes to pass your exams. That is only for your revision. Revision is revision, guys. And moreover, in my revision notes, I would have not covered each and everything what I have covered in my study material. Obviously, if I cover each and everything in my revision material also, it won't be called revision material. Agree, right? So hope you understood what is my intention. Okay, so try to study your study material. I know so many pages are there, that is there, this is there. Yes, you have time now. Okay, so now at present you have to study both. On exam days, okay, if you are depending on revision notes or that, this and all, fine. Okay, chalo, you should study revision notes only you have studied study material, guys. Okay. Okay, there is something new scheme which is applicable for cooperative societies, which I will explain at the end. Too much of new schemes don't want now. Yeah. So we have a second problem now. Let me do that and come back. Chalo guys, second problem. Come to second problem. So much time we are losing in this only. Yeah. Chalo, second problem. Mr. A, aged below 60 years, has derived a total income of 14,25,000 for the financial year 2021. Compute his tax liability for the assessment year 21-22. If option 1, he has not opted for section 115 BAC, that is old scheme. Okay. Option 2, assessee has opted for section 115 BAC, that is new scheme. So under option A it is old scheme, under option 2 it is new scheme, under option 2 it is new scheme. Agree? And there is no change in the income. Income is same because I have not given any deductions, exemptions here. So under both options, income figure is remaining same, that is 14,25,000. Agree? So we will apply both the schemes and see which is better. So option 1 is a old scheme, guys. So option 1 is old scheme, which we have already covered. We will quickly do this. Up to 2.5 lakh basic exemption limit. Okay. Then 5%. Then 20%. I will just write tax rate first. Then 30%. Okay. Then I will directly calculate the amounts here. Nil here. Then here it is 2.5 lakh into 5%. 2.5 lakh into 5%, which comes to 12,500. Then 5 lakh into 20%, 1 lakh. Then more than 10 lakh, how much is there? 14 lakh 25. So I will show this better. 14 lakh 25 minus 10 lakh into 30%. That is 4 lakh 25,000 into 30%. How much you will get, guys? 4 lakh 25,000. Is it 127,500? Yeah, 127,500. So total figure, subtotal. Someone give me the figure. 2 lakh 40. Yeah, 2 lakh 40 is my gross tax liability. 2 lakh 40 is my gross tax liability. Next, on 2 lakh 40 there is no rebate available for this assessee. So all those things should strike your mind, guys. All these things should strike your mind. Cess is 9,600 it seems. Okay. So your total tax liability comes to 2,49,600. No need to round off. Be careful with rounding off thing also. So no need to round off here. Take down, guys. So this is as per old scheme. This is as per old scheme. Please do take down. Very simple. We have already covered problems on this. Next, option 2 is our new scheme. This is important for me. New scheme. Now you guys should remember the rates. Up to 2,50,000, same. It is basic exemption limit. Okay. First I will write the tax rate so that it will be easy. 2.5 to 5 lakh, same rate, 5%. From now, it increases by 5%. So please be careful. Every 2,50,000 increase in the income, your tax rate will increase by 5%. So it is 10%. Here it is 15%. Here it is 20%. That's all. We will stop it here. Agree? Because his income is less than 15 lakh. So we will stop it there. Okay. So how do we calculate the tax? So for first case, it will be nil or 0. Okay. So for this, it is 2.5 lakh into 5%, which is 12,500. Then again 2.5 only, but rate is 10%. 25,000. Then again 2.5 lakh only. I am taking the difference amount, guys. Sir, how did you get 2,50,000 means difference amounts? That is your 12 lakh 50. Oh, where is 10? Up to 10 lakh is not given. Oh, 10 lakh is not given. 1 second. Yeah, it should be 10 lakh here. One more slab should come. Which I will do it. Okay. 2.5 lakh into 15%. 15%, which is again 37,500. Okay. I have to do some small correction here. I will do it. 1 second. Yeah, this should be more than 10 lakh up to 12.5 lakh, and last case should be more than 12.5 lakh. So okay, just next 25%. This is 25%. Agree? Yeah, chalo, we'll continue. So this will be 2.5 lakh into 20%, which comes to 50,000. Then last case, it will be like this. What is his total income? 14,25,000. 14,25,000. 1425 minus 12,50,000 into 25%. What is the amount, guys? What is this amount? The figure 43,750. 43,750. Give me the gross tax liability. 1,68,750. 1,68,750. On this, I have to calculate health and education cess at 4%. Health and education cess 13,500. 13,500. Total comes to final tax comes to 182,250. 182,250. 182,250. Health and education cess is it 13,500 or some other figure, guys? 6,750 it seems. Okay, someone I think sir told it is 13,500. 1 second, I will just change it. So obviously this also might change. Yeah, it is 6750. 6750. Yeah, final figure will be 175,500. Yeah, 175,500. Okay guys, this is the final figure, 175,500. So in simple, new scheme will be for every 2,50,000 increase in your income, 5% will be the increase in the tax rate. Agree? First read whatever tax rate is there, then you just go through these calculations, you will understand. Guys, shall we proceed? Just take a note. Take a note. It is beneficial. It is like a conclusion for this problem. It is beneficial to opt for. It is beneficial to opt for. It is beneficial to opt for new scheme as the tax liability is lower. As the tax liability is lower. As the tax liability is lower. Guys, see in this problem, this is a very simple problem where I have given the same figure for new scheme, old scheme. We just calculated the tax because I wanted you guys to understand, okay, how do we apply tax rates? How to calculate the total income we will be seeing in coming chapters. Because normally income will not be same for new scheme as well as old scheme. It will be different, obviously. Agree? So how do we calculate when it will be different? In that case, what will be the tax liability? Everything we will be seeing in coming chapters. Pranita, sir, in exam we to do both, sir. It depends on what they are asking. It depends on what they are asking. If the question, if they are, guys, this is very important, please listen. In the question, if they just asked you to calculate tax liability, always follow old scheme. Always follow old scheme. In the question, if they specifically given that calculate tax as per new scheme, or else assessee is willing to opt for new scheme, like that, in that case apply new scheme. Apply new scheme. Clear, madam? Yeah, chalo. We will see some more small topics and we'll close the day. Yeah, there is something called as maximum marginal rate and average rate of income tax. Average rate of income tax. What it is, we will see. See, sir, average rate of income tax, simple. I will just give it here. Okay, how to calculate in my example. Assume I am taking second question. Sir, if I am opting for new scheme, sorry, old scheme, what is my average rate of tax, sir? Please, everyone follow here. So, what is your final tax liability, guys? 2,49,600. What I am doing is under old scheme for second problem. So, what is your total income? It was 14,25,000. Someone calculate the percentage into 100. Into 100. 17.51. Okay. So that means on an average, I am paying tax at the rate of 17.51. Who? Mr. A. Assessee. Okay. Now if I am going to some other problem, third problem, first case you imagine. Okay, sir, what is the average rate if I am calculating here? So average rate of income tax is equal to, what is your tax liability? Final one, 1,23,760. Okay. Divided by your total income, that is 10,30,000 into 100. 100 is a percentage, that's all. Yeah, how much is this? 12.01. 12.01. So what it means, sir? The rates which is applicable for me is different. Agree? But ultimately, once I calculated my tax liability, okay, I can see on an average what is my tax rate applicable for me on an average. This is not given in the act. It differs from case to case. We have to calculate it. Okay. Your final tax liability divided by your total income. Simple. What it is? As per section we will see. In simple terms I have explained. As per section 210, average rate of income tax means the rate arrived at by dividing the amount of income tax calculated on total income by such total income. That is, average rate of tax is equal to income tax on total income divided by total income. If you want to express the answer in percentage, in 200 you can do, or else you can also express it in decimal. Clear? Chalo. Then there is one concept called maximum marginal rate. Sir, what is this maximum marginal rate? It is given in section 229C. Sir, maximum marginal rate means it is applicable only for few people. What is the maximum tax rate applicable for you? Irrespective of your income, what is the maximum tax rate applicable for you? For example, if I am telling, for an individual, what is the maximum tax rate, guys? Please pay attention here. What is the maximum tax rate? 30% income tax plus surcharge maximum is 37%, na? Yes. Plus health and education says 4%. So amount comes like this. In calculator you have to calculate like this: 30 plus 37% plus 4% you have to do. Don't add up like however I have written here. Not 71, it is not correct. You have added up. You do how I told. 30 you take plus 37% plus 4%. In your calc you have to type like that. In your calc you should do like this, everyone. 30 plus 37% plus 4%. You have to do like this. 42.744. Yeah, this is correct answer. 42.744%. This is correct answer. Agree? Because 37 and 4 is not on your income. It is actually on tax. So we have to take 30 plus on that 37%. On whatever I get plus 4%. Hope you understood the logic. Clear? Because surcharge and education cess is not on your total income. You cannot simply add and give 71%. It is wrong. Okay. So I will repeat. Okay. Varun is asking me to repeat. See, 30% is your income tax rate. Okay. Which you will calculate on your income. Okay. Whereas surcharge and education cess is actually not on your income. It is on your income tax. Agree? So that is why we have to take 30 plus 37% on that. Okay. Whatever you have got plus 4% on that. You will get 42.744. In calc actually you have to do like this. However, I have written here. Okay. So you should not consider percentage in your calc. Clear? Chalo. This actually is called, okay, maximum marginal rate for an individual. Sir, if I ask for HUF also same story. Agree? For HUF also same story. Chalo. We will see it here. Section 229C defines maximum marginal rate to mean that rate of income tax including surcharge on income tax, if any, applicable. Okay, actually, yeah, one second. Applicable in relation to highest slab of income in the case of an individual, AOP or BOI. So in this case, only 3 people are covered. Maximum marginal rate, only 3 people are covered. As the case may be, as specified in Finance Act of relevant here. One second, guys. Actually, we are not supposed to take 4%. Normally, it will be applicable, but for calculating maximum marginal rate, don't apply health and education cess. One second. I will give it here separately. So, what is maximum marginal rate is equal to? It will be 30 plus 37%. That's all. They are not given health and education cess. Okay. So, it is 41.1. Yeah, 41.1%. Take down this, guys. Okay. So, this will be same for all 3 people, guys. This will be same for individual. Then who else is covered? AOP and BOI. AOP and BOI. Because the tax rate applicable for them including surcharge is same. So take the answer of 41.1%. This is not so important. They will not ask you like apply this and calculate tax liability and all. But they have defined it and it is included in your syllabus. It is good to know what is maximum marginal rate. They may ask MC question, direct question. Clear guys? So we'll stop it here. We have two more concept which we will discuss tomorrow and do the remaining problems. Okay, chalo. So we have some more things left in this chapter. Tomorrow we will be completing this chapter in the morning. If possible, we will start the next chapter also. Clear guys? Okay. Bye for today. Good night. Take care.